Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a long-arm quilter, and here on my channel I like to share customer finishes as well as my own personal projects. So today I have 11 quilts to show to you today. I thought today I would just do kind of like a bed turning, I guess. I've got them all stacked up here on the long arm, and I'll just talk about each one and then pull that one off and talk about the next one. And so we'll work through them that way today. The first one I'm going to start with is my Meadowlark Songs quilt. You've been watching this over the last couple weeks as I've been finishing it up for a client. I've had it on the long arm. It's all ready to be bound and sent off, so I want to share some details with you. Meadowlark's Song is a pattern by Kansas Trouble Quilters. You've been watching this for the last few weeks. I showed last week how I had the whole quilt top together and all I needed to do was put it on the long arm. So let me show you the backing fabric that I used. Well, first of all, all of the materials on the front are Kansas Trouble's Quilters fabric, and it comes from their Clover Blossom line. Backing fabric that I chose, this is a Kansas Trouble Quilters fabric as well. This is Maple Hill line though. All of Kansas Trouble's lines pretty much are interchangeable. They're very similar in color scheme and design. A lot of fun to work with. So I picked this backing fabric. This is Evergreen in the Maple Hill line of fabrics, and everything else on the front is the Clover Blossom. So for the pantograph, I chose Feather Frond. This was a very classy pantograph, I thought. Some swirls in there, but this was a new pantograph I picked out. I saw another quilt that had this one on there, and another quilt like this that had this pantograph, and I thought it worked really well. So nice swirls, you know, almost like a feather, which is what it says, but not quite, you know, so it doesn't quite touch all the way on the spine, and it kind of comes out as larger feathers, larger, the bubble on the side of the feather a little larger, and then it comes back in and does smaller ones. So kind of inspiration of a feather, but not quite the same. And it's a really nice one. I think it went really well. I used a cream color thread because of the cream color backgrounds on all of the front. There you can see the stitching. Very fun to work with. So all that's left is the binding. The binding is actually the same blue that is on the front borders, and I think that'll look really nice with the green backing as well, the blue around the edge. So Meadowlark Song is all done. I'll be getting this bound and sent off to Tom. I will not be showing it again. I may show you some pictures once I have it all bound, but I'm not going to wait for my next video to ship it out. He's going to get this very soon. So Meadowlark Song is all finished. I'm so excited. All right, let's move on to a batik quilt. A very fun, bright quilt. This is Sharon's quilt. I don't have details about the pattern or the fabrics, but I will link some batik fabrics down below. I'll try to find some bright ones like this. This is a very summery feel. The pattern doesn't look that difficult. It looks like a 5-inch square here, a very skinny, probably cut a 1.5-inch strip there, and then another rectangle on the top. Obviously it would be 5 inches long, probably 2.5, so you could figure this one out pretty easy. And so you're just interchanging the middle band and it almost looks like books or something, not quite, but I'm a book lover, so that's kind of what I thought of when I saw this. And so you're just interchanging that bands all different ways, so really cute. You could, I wonder, it may even use a charm pack, or not a charm pack, yeah, it may even use a charm pack, because if you had a 5-inch square here and then you cut the other 5-inch square in half, you could use, you know, a coordinating one on top. I don't know. I don't know the pattern. If you know the pattern to this one, I'd love to hear a comment below so I can pass it on to other viewers, or if you know the batik line it is. So when Sharon sent this, she asked if I would pick out a backing fabric, and so I have picked out another bright blue. Love this. I actually chose a wide back. This quilt only measures 40 by 52, but if I chose yardage, you know, regular yardage, I was going to have to piece the back anyway, and that was going to, you know, require some more time, a lot of extra fabric, and I thought if I'm going to have extra, I'd rather just use a wide backing. Sharon just pays me for the amount that I used for hers, so the rest will just go to be used on another project. So I did use a wide backing so that I didn't have to piece it at all. So for the pantograph, I chose a new pantograph again. This one is called Buttonwood, and let me get in close so you can kind of see. Maybe on the back it shows a little better. So what I liked about this one, it had the 3 leaves, kind of like batik. You know, batik has usually some frond type things. I don't know if you can see that there. So it has 3 leaves that are kind of laid out flat, and then it does some swirls, but even on the swirls there's this little bit of a knob on the end of the swirls, which I thought was really cute, and then it spins back out and does 3 more leaves the underneath side, so they're like laying flat. And I thought the leaf itself looked very similar to some of the prints you see on batiks. So let me show you the front again. Some batiks where you have, you know, just kind of fronds or leaves, kind of laid out flat, just kind of, that's what I thought of when I saw this one. There you can see the pantograph a little better on that yellow if it's not too bright. So you can see how the 3 leaves just kind of fan out, and they're a little bit of a flat. I did use a medium gray thread on this. I auditioned a light gray thread, but even with a light gray thread, I felt it was too light on the fabrics. It gave off the same appearance as if it was a cream or a white color. So I went with a little bit darker, a medium green, a medium gray. And I really like grays with batiks. I think they look really nice on there. Obviously you can see them on the yellow prints, but the others, the colors just pop out of those batiks. On the back, I did use a gray bobbin as well. This is a pre-wound bobbin. I used Magna-Glide bobbins that have got the magnetic center so that they're magnetized into your bobbin case, and that's what I try to use almost always for my bobbin threads, unless I just absolutely need to change the color for something I use on the top. But that is Sharon's quilt. So cute. Very fun. All right, let's move on to this one. I have several quilts today from Debby, and this first one is a sampler quilt. So there's 15 12-inch blocks, all set with a green sashing, mostly floral prints. It looks like every block is different. Like I said, it's a sampler, so different ones. A lot of them, there you have a card trick block. A lot of them are different pinwheels. So you have a pinwheel block there. Flying geese block, florals, so each block is different. This one is actually appliqué. Look at that one with the 9 patch in the center, and then the 3 appliques around each corner. Here is a star with like a rail fence block in the middle, and then almost like a starburst. Some more pinwheels set just a tad bit different. It's an interesting one there, like similar to a log cabin. Each 4-part here. And then this one, what's that one called? Snails, Trails, that one, what's that one I think is called? And a star. So all different fabrics. She did a butterfly backing, very pretty. So because all of this was florals, I chose to do a trellis pattern. And let me see if I can get in here. A lot of spirals, a few little leaves in there, but mostly spirals. They spin in and out. It is pretty. I didn't do it super tight. I've done this tighter on other quilts, but I felt with this one a little more open was better. So you can see the tight swirls. They do not repeat on top of themselves, so there is some space as the swirl comes out. And then it's just a little, oh man, I wish I could show you. Then it's just a little leaf. Let me see if I can find one that you can see fairly well, because this is a leaf that you can do if you are hand guided. So let me see. You can see the leaf right here. So when you come out of the swirl, you can do this hand guided. So you do your swirls, kind of do the ribbon effect like this does where it crosses over itself. And then as you come out of that swirl, here's a green one. Can you see that one? I'll go back down here. So as you come out of that swirl, don't stop and go backwards over the leaf. You continue your movement in this direction. Come down, just do a little bit of a swoop out, and then come to a point, and then a swoop back around so that you get this leaf effect. So notice how it just dips in a little bit right there at the edge. So as you're coming around this swirl this way, you continue on, do a little kick out, just a little bit to get that leaf effect. If you wanted to, you could come down into the leaf and do just a little bit of a vein and come back up and then continue on, so that your movement is almost in a circular pattern. You're not stopping and coming backwards. You're following your movement there. That just makes it a little more fluid, a little more smooth as you're going around. Again, practice this on your marker board if you're doing hand guided. This is one that you can use a lot. You can add as many leaves as you want. This one doesn't have a whole lot, so it's a lot of swirls, and then just every once in a while it kicks off that swirl and does a little leaf, and then it comes out and does another one. So every few inches you may have a leaf, but you could do as many leaves as you want, or you could do all leaves, you know. So this measures 45 by 73, so it's pretty long, and like I said, it's 15 squares, 15 blocks, and all done with the green sashing in between. So practice different blocks, put different blocks together. These are all different fabrics. I really don't see any of the fabrics that repeat in different blocks, so it's a true sampler at heart. All right. That's Debbie's first quilt. Let's move on to this one. So Debbie basically sent me a big box of quilts and asked me to finish them, and so I don't have pattern names, I don't have fabric lines, but this is something that you could do if you have a panel print or some yardage that you can fussy cut into squares. That's what this quilt is. So she's fussy cut these flower pot blocks and set it with sashing. As simple as that, you can have a quilt top put together. This is really cute for spring. I love the pale green lattice work, and all of the flower pots are just so cute. So she has done lattice, shorter ones in between like this, and then done longer strips vertical. You could do it either way. So if you choose to join your blocks with sashing small ones, to the sides and then did your longer sashing horizontally, or you can do it as she did, do your, on the top and bottom of your blocks, do your shorter sashing, and then she's done long strips of sashing, done vertical sashing. So either way works great. She did a pieced backing. And then for the pantograph, I thought this one just needed some extra pop in there just to make those flower pots really stand out, I guess, or just really emphasize the theme of the floral. And so this one is called Paper Blooms. This is a Julie Hurt pantograph, and Julie Hurt has an Etsy site. That's how you can get a hold of her patterns, and just love them. They're really cute, really cute. So you have two different designs. So you have this circle one that almost has like an orange peel effect in the middle, and then next to it, it's the again orange, but it's like the flower and then the circle. That makes sense. So you got the flower, it's repeated on itself, and then you have a circle with the lines there, and that just alternates back and forth. Now I cannot remember off the top of my head if when you pull this into the design, whether it's already alternated. I'm thinking you have to, when you repeat the design, then you need to offset it by half, so that you don't want all of your circles lined up next to each other, you know, on top of each other. You want to offset it so that one flower, so that alternates back and forth. And I can't remember right now whether it pulls in that way. I'm pretty sure, because it only stitches out one row at a time. So when you repeat it, I'm pretty sure it puts all the X's on top of each other, all those flower blocks on top. So you do need to offset it by one. And then you get that alternating effect. So this, we used a cream color thread. No, I think it's a white. So on this we used a white color thread. Really pretty. Love those. Love Julie Hurt's designs. Really nice. All right, let's talk about this one. This next project by Debby, this is yardage. It's 43 by 73, and it's just a fun print. This has cottages all over it, some birdhouses, some flowers, and this is a great idea. First of all, let me show you what I did. With the theme of the cottages and kind of, you can see a stone wall, that's the pantograph I went with. So you can see it much better on the maroon back. This is called Stone Wall. And I thought this pantograph, this yardage just needed a lot of texture. Now I'm not sure what Debbie's going to do with this, whether she's just going to bind it and use it as a throw. But this is a great thing to do if you are making bags or something and you want some yardage quilted. I'd be happy to do that. You know, if you're wanting it quilted ahead of time, and then you can cut those pieces apart for a bag, or maybe it's placemats, you know, not necessarily pieced, but you're wanting some certain fabric all quilted. We can quilt it as one big piece. We don't have to do it as separate ones. We can quilt it as one big piece, and then you can cut those apart and make your placemats. Or maybe you're doing some burp rags for babies, or things like that, where you just need some cute yardage and you just need it quilted, and then you can bind it either smaller or use it for bags. It's a great idea. So this stone wall, again, is a new pantograph this week, and I used a darker tan thread. I really wanted it to blend and just create a lot of texture on top of the design. So it's a pretty dark one. I think it's the 3068 that I used last week. So it's a pretty dark tan. And then with the dark tan on the back, I think that's a good effect on the maroon. You can really see the quilting, but it's not bright. The thread is kind of, you know, just in the background, but you can see all of the, you know, almost like rocks or things. So it creates a lot of texture. So if you have some yardage, just some yardage that you really like and you want to use it, you need it quilted, just send me the yardage with the backing fabric that you need or that you like, and we'll get it quilted up, and then you can use it in some of those quilted projects that you'd like to finish. All right, I have one more by Debby. I am in love with this red and white quilt. This is so pretty. It is really just a 2-block quilt. So you have your dark red star. That is 1 block. So it actually ends where you see the square right there. So this is not one, this is the intersection of 4 blocks. So that's not one piece. Those are actually 2.5-inch squares. So your block ends right here, goes down to this one, so you just have that star block is 1 block, and then the second block that you have is this one. So again, we have a 2.5-inch square here, we have a rectangle, we have a large square in the middle, so 2.5-inch square, rectangle, 2.5, rectangle, the large square, rectangle, 2.5. So that creates that second block, and you're just alternating these two within the quilt. So by doing that, you have this intersection where it looks like it's one piece, but it's actually where the 4 come together, and that is the same size, do you see that, as this block that is in the middle of this one. And then it gives the effect that those stars are surrounded. It's really cute. And so even this fabric right here, this is a white with red printed on top, but it's your lower volume, but it's still pretty. It's got a lot of red to it, but I really like this. I just think it's very striking. And I love the dark red. Love, love, love the dark red. And then Debby has done a border, and then repeated that lower volume print, and then the dark red around the outer edge again. Love, love, love. I love this. So, so pretty. And the back, she used the lighter red as her backing fabric. Love how this coordinates. So it's 3 fabrics. That's all you have. 3 fabrics. You have your darker, you have a medium, and you have a low volume, and then repeated with the borders. Love, love, love this. Oh my, just really like this one. All right, so for the pantograph, I just thought this was a classy quilt. I just thought the best one that I chose, best one I thought for this one is Chantilly lace. Can you see that? Oh, I just love this one. I love the lacy effect. I love the vintage effect. It just feels very rich and just classy. So the Chantilly lace, you come in and you have a little arc right there, and then it comes in 3 loops. Then you have the arc, and then you go back up and you repeat that same design up, and then you repeat the same design down. I think this is so classy. Did a white thread on this one. Love, love, love this one. So this is a fairly large quilt, 76 by 100. So let me count. So this block is 5. This quilt is 5 blocks across and 7 blocks down. That way we have stars on every corner, by it being an odd number. So you have 3 stars across the top, and then you have 4 stars on the way down. Just love this quilt. Really, really like it. All right, let's move on to Barn Star. Lisa's quilt is Barnstar Sampler, no, Lisa's quilt is Barnstar 5. This is a pattern by Kori Yoder of Coriander Quilts. Kori has a series of 7 Barnstars that you can create, all of them 40 by 40. They make great wall hangings to put above your couch or on a bed, above your bed, or just great. So if you are familiar with barn stars, if you've driven through, especially in the Midwest, I don't know if it's across the country or not, but I know in Indiana where I am, my kids even point out, hey mom, look, there's a barn star right there. So farmers or homeowners would put a barn star on their barn. There's several trails. This will have maps where you can follow through their county or across states that show you barn stars. It's so fun. I love finding them as we're driving. But you could do your own in fabric. So Kori Yoder is the designer of these patterns. Lisa chose fabric from not only Kori Yoder, she has some of her sun-washed fabric as well as her cozy up fabric. She's also used some Dwell from Camille Roskelley, and she has used some Canyon Birds fabric here. So putting them all together makes this really cute barn star. She chose a white linen for the back. And that shows up, that may be too bright, and that shows up the pantograph really well. We went with the No Fuss Orange Peel from Julie Hurt again. Love this one, another classy design. Love how this one stitches out. Really, really cute. We use a white thread so it all blends with that backing fabric. And this will be so cute as a table topper or hanging above a mantle, and you could change them out for seasons. You know, each one of these, each barn star is different. It's a different style. You can have them all coordinating or do different colors for different seasons. Just so cute, so cute. And this one is very easily pieced. A lot of easy corner triangles, and here, and then you have half square triangles. Now a lot of it. Yeah, even so you have half square triangles here, and you have hourglass block like we talked about last week there. You have some easy corner triangles on a larger rectangle here. So easy piecing, you could do this, and then just one border around the edge. And then with that No Fuss Orange Peel, just so cute. So cute. All right, I have another one by Lisa. Look at this one. Oh, this is such an adorable quilt. Wouldn't this be so cute for a little boy, little toddler boy on his bed? I love this. This is Sail by Camille Roskelley, her pattern of Thimble Blossoms. And all of the fabric is also Camille Roskelley. It's all her Nantucket summer line. Love this. Oh my goodness, love it. These blocks are probably, oh my, they're probably a 16 by 20 inch block. You know, they're fairly large. It's 16 sailboats, and this quilt measures 68 by 80, so you have fairly large blocks, and then you have the sashing, the blue sashing with the white cornerstones. Love it, and it looks white, but it's that white with the blue stripes on it. Love this, so cute. Love the greens and the blues. Every sailboat is different. Some have blue sails, some have green sails, some have white. Each one is different. So pretty. Love it. All right, for the backing fabric, Lisa chose this scrumptious blue Minky. This one is called Bluebell. Shannon Cuddle. Minky fabric, Bluebell, and that shows off the pantograph super well. This is Knit 1, Purl 2. Love this pantograph as well. I love the texture this gives to a quilt top. So pretty. You can make this as large or as tight. It's good coverage no matter how small or big you make it. So this one is fairly big, so you can see probably, you know, bigger than my fist there, but I've done this one fairly small on even larger quilts, and it just gives a lot of texture. I kind of oriented this one, the size of it, with the size of the sailboats. Didn't want to make it too small. Just wanted it to feel like a wind just pushing those sailboats along. Actually, I'd be pushing it this way. I just think it's really cute. The thread on this one is a gray, and it's a medium gray. Gray is a great one for blues as well, not only batiks, but these blue fabrics. Super cute. All right, I have another one of Lisa's. This pattern is called Rose of Sharon, and this is a pattern by Kori Turner-Goodheart, and she is the designer in Olive Grace Studios, and she is based in Ohio. And you have got to go to her website and look at the quilt store that she has. It's the cutest little quilt store in an old red schoolhouse. I absolutely love it. I will have to visit that at some point if I am through Ohio. It is just darling. She tells a great story about how about the history of the schoolhouse. You'll have to go look. She is a designer for Windham Fabrics, and this is not only her pattern but also her fabrics. The fabric line is called Jaye. So cute. The original pattern that you'll find on her website for Rose of Sharon uses just a solid, I think it's white, it's a solid fabric for the large open areas of this quilt, which just would show off quilting incredibly well. Lisa chose to go with this Jaye fabric, this very fun print. If you'll notice, all the birds have little sayings on them. So dream big, or strong and brave. Direction is more important than speed. How cute is that? And Kori, a lot of her fabrics, when I was looking earlier, a lot of her fabrics have sayings and things. I love words on fabric. I think it's so fun. I love words in general. If you notice around my house, actually, I don't know if you can see way up there, I decorate with the old flashcards that we would use in school. Do you remember flashcards? Oh my goodness. I have old flashcards. I have old flashcards that are words, you know, letter or house or farm or all kinds of stuff. I love words, and have a lot of words on my walls. So any prints that I find that have words on them just tug at my heart. So this is even so cute how you incorporate the words in with the design of the birds. Really fun. Cute messages there, but then she also has other fabrics that are actually word prints. You'll have to go check that out. So Jaye is the line. This is a very modern looking pattern in that the vertical piecing is offset. It's not down the center, it's offset. So if you could picture this with white fabric or something, you could see how that vertical piecing really stands out. Then with this one, how it gives a whole different look to the quilt when you're using some yardage that has a print or design to it. And then Lisa has chosen fabrics to make those flowers just pop off of that other fabric. Green centers and the pinwheels, all of them. And then she alternates this melon color flower with the, what I would say, what would you say, a lilac or purplish color flower there. Very cute, just real cute. For the backing fabric, Lisa chose another Shannon Cuddle Minky, and this is in Cappuccino. I like the brown with the front of this quilt. I think that is really rich looking. I like that. And this pantograph is Soho. With the busyness on the front, Soho again gives nice coverage. It's a very simple design, but it gives a lot of nice coverage without overpowering all the fabrics on the front. So if you can kind of picture maybe birds flying around, or even, you know, maybe the bill of the beak of the bird. So again, we're adding texture. We're kind of repeating a little bit of the design on the front, maybe complementing the design. We're not going with a bird pantograph or something like that, but just something simple that just kind of coordinates all of it together. So for the thread color, this is a cream color thread. Oh, I like this. A really cute quilt. And then here's a close-up of the flowers. So you'll have to check out her studio, the Olive Grace Studios. It's a really fun website. She's got a couple books on, I believe it was embroidery, finishing embroidery, hand embroidery it looked like, and as well as some quilt patterns, and then fabric that she has designed as well. So really fun. And that quilt store, it's really cute. Old school houses. You know, I think that kind of goes with the letters and the words that I like. You know, the old school houses, just love, love, love those two. So Jaybird is the fabric line. All right, you can see a glimpse of Lisa's next one. This quilt pattern is called Oh Happy Day, and it's in Kori Yoder's book called Oh Happy Day. It's one of the quilts in that book. This is so adorable. Look at the square right there. So do you see how we have a 9 patch right here, a 9 patch right there, and it's joined with sashing with the same color cornerstone as is in the diagonal on that. So this would need to be laid out so that you can get it all so it looks right when you piece it together. So sometimes Lisa has chosen different colors like this, you know, a yellow and a green. Here she's chosen 2 colors that are fairly similar, but still one is darker than the other, with the blue and the aquas. And then here's another block where she's chosen some reds and pinks. And then she's repeated those throughout the quilt. And then also notice in the larger layout, then Lisa has taken the same color blocks and done them on diagonals throughout the quilt. Really, really cute. So Lisa has done a sun-washed fabric for the border. The backing or the sashing, the background or sashing color, this is a Bella Solid. And then all of the colored blocks in the middle, this is Radiance by Whistler Studios. This is done by Windham Fabrics. This is one of those lines that I thought about using for my temperature quilt because they read as solids, but if you get in close, you can see that each one of them is almost like a Doppler type in circular patterns. So it's like a Doppler kind of effect like that. And there's a lot of different colors. I don't know if there would have been enough for the temperature quilt, but if you look at the fat quarter bundle, it's a wide spectrum of colors, and it was very pretty. And I really did consider it, but a little brighter than I wanted to go, and then I decided to use the linen. So love these colors. These are so bright and summer, a lot of very summery feel to them, and just make this a really cute quilt. And then I love that she's put a flower border, kind of just to tie the whole thing together, and just so pretty. For the backing fabric on this one, she chose this cute Minky. Look at that color. This is a blue, a light blue that's called Saltwater. Love this. Oh my goodness. So pretty. Love to feel it. And then you can see the pantograph as well. This is Daisy Delight. I love this one too. So we just added that floral theme. So she had the floral theme in the border fabric, but not really in the rest of the quilt. So let's take this, what we pick up from here, and let's just add some flowers all over so it just looks like this wonderful flower garden. I love this design. I think this one was a perfect choice for this quilt. The flowers themselves, they're smaller than my fist. I did make this kind of tight. Lisa likes a lot of texture to her quilts, and I just love this. Really love this. So cute. So Coriander Quilts is the designer of the pattern Oh Happy Day, and doesn't that make you happy? Really cute. So this is a white thread on all of that with all the white background fabric. We needed to use white, and white for the quilting. Love that. So you've noticed that Lisa has used lots of Minky on her quilts, and so I've had the question, what do you do with leftover Minky? Because like here's some leftovers that Lisa will be getting back from the last 3 quilts that I've shown you. And so I did some research, looked up, there's plenty of videos on YouTube where you can see different things that you can do with leftover Minky, whether it's piecing it together for another blanket or another quilt, or you can do everything from little plush animals. I mean, this kind of looks like a dolphin or something, doesn't it? Those colors right there. So you could make plush little toys. You could make, I saw a neck pillow, so for like traveling, if you're traveling in the car, how soft that would be if you stuff it there. You can make pillows, whether it's a heart shape, you know, some simple shapes. Heart shape, or maybe some stars or a moon, you know, something with those colors. Lots of different things you can do. There was burp rags on there if you wanted to do that. And lots of things that you can do. If you're really good at sewing, and I think the plush animals is really cute. Everything, you know, everything under the sun. Every animal you could think of, different designs. So I'll link a few videos. Shannon Fabrics has a whole YouTube channel themselves, and you can look at their tutorials on how to make different designs, make different projects from your leftover Minky. There's lots of choices out there. Anything that you would like to feel soft and plush, so pillows and the toys are great choices. That's what you can do with some leftover Minky, because you are going to have some extra. When you send a quilt top to me, I do ask that there are at least 4 inches around all sides of the quilt. And so let's say if your quilt measures 80 by 80, I would need a backing fabric that's 88 by 88. And the reason is when you're loading it on the long arm, I'll just show you real quick. When I'm loading it on the long arm, I'm loading the back onto leaders. And so either I'm using pins or I am using red snappers. And so when I'm piecing it onto here, I cannot get all the way up to that edge of that backing fabric. So if your backing fabric is the exact same size as your top, then I can't get all the way out to the edge of a backing fabric. So if you give me 4 inches all the way around, that gives me some space to attach these, the backing fabric to my leaders, and then gives me plenty of clearance with my machine and any pins that are there, or getting close to the bars even. And then your top, though, it does not need anything extra added to it. No extra borders added. You just send the top the way that you want it, because that top then sits on top of your backing fabric. I do pin the bottom of your quilt top to this leader here, and then I roll it all up onto this bar. I lay out the backing fabric, and then I lay out the batting, and then I stitch a straight line across the top through the batting and the backing fabric. That gives me a horizontal line. Then I pull the quilt up, and then that's how I start the quilt, is I baste it down to that line. So your quilt top doesn't need any extra because it's sitting within those parameters of your backing fabric. So I hope that helps. But if you're using Minky as a backing, then you are going to have at least 4 inches all the way around. And so you may want to do something with that. A lot of times if you're buying the extra wide, so the 90-inch Minky, you're going to have more than that. You do not have to cut down your Minky or any of your backing fabric if it's larger than that. So if you buy a wide backing that's 108, but your quilt is only 70, there's no need to trim that down. You can send me that wide backing. I return all the scraps back to you. And that gives me plenty of room around. I have seen wide backings that aren't cut straight where, you know, it'll be like this. And so if I have even extra with wide backings, that's great because, you know, why it may be straight across the top and then it comes down like this. I'm losing parts on either side. So the larger the quilt top, I think it's always better to have a little more backing just because shifting and things if it happens, but it's not necessary. I can work with it. So at least 4 inches larger, but it can be larger than that. No need to cut down if you're buying a wider length or something like that. So I hope that helps to understand how that attaches to a leader. I know a lot of times, you know, you've not seen a long arm quilter and how it works and why you need the extra material, and that's why we need it. All right, let's, I'll put this quilt away and we'll move on to the last one of Lisa's today. I have really enjoyed all of the quilts I've worked with this week, but this may be one of my favorites. This, if anybody grew up with Brady Bunch, I grew up with Brady Bunch. Love it. You know, we grew up on it. It was so fun. This fabric is created by Marsha Brady. Her real name is Maureen McCormick, and she is a fabric designer now. Did you know that? And look at these prints. They look like they came right off of the set of the Brady Bunch, and so fun. So all of the star part here, this is all Maureen McCormick's quilt or fabric. So the flower, the gingham, those all come from her. Now the backing fabric, the background fabric that you see, this cream color with the teal squares, that is actually an April Rosenthal print, but it coordinates so well. Can you see the teal and how well it coordinates with the gingham? So cute. This line by Maureen McCormick is called Flower Power. How appropriate. Yeah, looks like it came off the dresses she was wearing on the stage, or wearing on the program. So fun. So the pattern for this is Home Again. This is a Lori Holt pattern. I've linked it down below. Lisa has made the Home Again quilt before, but this gives it a totally different look, doing a different fabric line, and I think this is so fun. Didn't know the 70s were coming back, but they are evidently. Look at those. I like the gingham, very summer. Even the gingham has a little bit of a flower in there. Do you see that? How she's added a flower in with the gingham. Like how the gingham is set on point. I'm assuming that's the way the yardage is done, that it's done in the diagonal and not just the straight gingham. There are 12 blocks to this quilt, and these are big blocks. I would say they're every bit of probably 20 inches. Probably a 20-inch block, maybe even larger than that. They're very large. So there's 12 of them, 3 across and 4 down. That makes the quilt end up being 75 by 95 with the sashing, and then she's done another white border around the edge. She's repeated that same flower print that she used in the stars in the cornerstones here as well. So fun. Her backing fabric. Remember how I said I loved words? Love this backing fabric. This is from the Be Mindful line by Windham Fabrics. So all different sayings. So this is friendship related. You have some Hershey kisses. You have some hearts and flowers, best friends forever. So it goes really well with the whole theme of, you know, if you're thinking Brady Bunch or Marsha Brady, just the friends, you know, the growing up during that time. Love this print. This is a white background with the black print on top of it. Love that. All right, this pantograph I think is so fun. This pantograph is called Flower Child, and I just love this. Look at that. Oh, it's kind of bright there. Can we see that? When I sent this to Lisa, I said, I think this one would be perfect for the whole theme of this quilt. Knowing who the designer of the fabric is, and the types of prints that they are, I love this pantograph. So this is a 5 petal flower. So it comes in and it loops and does the 5 petals, and then it comes over and just barely above that one, then it loops and does the 5 petals, and then comes down and does the one. So they kind of alternate a little bit, you know, so this one, then this one, then this one. So in a zigzag type pattern, but super easy to stitch out because they nest well together. You can kind of see how that one comes down into this row. But it's just loops over and over and over again. So we did this fairly tight again. I mean, this is much smaller than my fist, but Lisa does like texture, and I thought with this quilt, it's just, the more flowers, the better. Thought it was fun, fun, fun to do. I was thrilled with this one. All right, that's all the quilts I finished this week, and I love all of them. So if there's a pattern or fabric that you're interested in, I've given as many links down below as I can, so that you can find them, so that you can create them on your own. And then once you finish them, if you're in need of long arm quilting services, my information is down below as well. You can download the order form, and it gives you all the instructions how to get your quilt to me. It gives you the information about the size of the batting and the backing fabric, just like we talked about a little bit earlier. All that information is there, and so I'd love to work with you. So fun, so many fun quilts come through here. So I will see you again next week, because every quilt is worth finishing. We'll see you then.